Brother Dave?
Well, so think Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventures or Encino Man or something. Those two movies along.
Never seen either one of them.
Okay. All right.
I'm not a nerd.
If you went and plucked somebody from the 1700s, early 1700s, just Paul, not Revere, just it could have been, I guess, but just anybody, and you just plop them in 2025. What do you think they would be most impressed with from 2025?
Do you know how much?
By the way, hell of a topic.
Do you know how much like deja vu this has given me? And it's not even really deja vu. It's probably more of like a coincidence because I was literally just having this conversation
I lucked out then.
last night or last night with Dr. Ryan and his wife and Dr. Ryan's dad. And we were talking about air conditioning.
Okay.
You got to put that front foot towards you.
It is towards me. I think the Earth started spinning a little faster or something.
Oh, I know. We were talking about air conditioning. I said something about, we're looking to upgrade our HVAC system. You know, it was super hot in the house. I finally broke down and put our window units in, really trailer parked it up and everything. And then he said, oh, yeah, Dad, how old were you when you guys first got air conditioning? And he said something like, oh, I don't know when we got air conditioning, but he said, I think I was 17 or 19 when we got running water. And it just kind of hit. And I was like, isn't that wild to think about? That it's 2025 AD right now. And in our lifetime, like me at the ripe old age of 38, can physically know someone who didn't have like utilities for a major portion of their childhood. Like I thought that just really
never had it.
I know, that's what I mean. I think that really blew my mind. Like how far, like infrastructurally and technologically, as a society, we have advanced in a very, very short period.
Yeah,
of time.
but we've been sucking hind tit for the last 50 years, though. Like, look how, the oldest, I don't know, one of the Wright brothers obviously died second, right?
We're related to him.
Yeah?
Yeah.
My stepdad is too.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
What if you guys, I guess because stepdad, shit. If you guys were long lost brothers.
But the last Wright brother to die, I don't remember if it was Orville or the other one, Wilbur. Whichever was the last one to die. So they invented, flying.
Mm-hmm.
And in their lifetime, they got to see the first rocket launch. Like, we did a whole lot in a short amount of time. And, like, all we come up with now is TikTok and...
Well, but I will say, though, our advances are different than what those were then. And I think to our friend Courtney Drew and her battle with what she's got going on, I think our technological advances have been in the medical field and where you're seeing these genetic projects. And, think about how long ago was it that they cloned Dolly the Lamb? Late 80s?
Mm-hmm.
And now you're literally creating therapeutic drugs and treatments that are genetic specific that you wouldn't even imagined. Look at the direwolf thing. Like, that's not just that's not just plucking a hair out of a lamb in your field and then cloning that. Like, you've brought something out from extinction. So, like, I see your point, like, of those major innovations, sure. But I think they've changed and they're more niche to where they don't necessarily serve a wide segment of the population, maybe more specific, like in Courtney's situation with her, her trials that she's been in and those kind of therapies, like that's something we may not see for another 5 or 10 years to be commonplace. So I agree, like when it comes to something like that, but look at Tesla with what they've done with self-driving vehicles and the technology. Like, you've got you've got probably the newest vehicle out of all of us with your Expedition.
What year's yours?
16.
Yeah, his is newer.
Okay.
Mine's 14.
What is it? Which one's a 16? Your truck?
Mhm.
Well, but I mean, like all the bells and whistles,
Oh,
the backup
yeah.
I don't want to say your truck's a base
It's
package.
100% a base package.
Yeah, but like I'm talking about his or like our like Lady Tank, like it can sense those headlights and it does automatic. It's got rain sense on the windshield, like all that stuff. So I think there's been some innovation. It's just not been to that extent of where you can see Orville and his brother running down the beaches of Kitty Hawk, and you're like, oh shit, they're flying, to a rocket taking a man on the moon. But I mean, there's been some innovation. I think it's just
Buick
different.
could sense windshield or rain and turn on the windshield wipers automatically.
Your 2000 Buick?
Yeah, gotta miss that car.
It's a good one, huh?
God, it was great. The Park Avenue.
So the original question, mid 1700s.
So that's so this is what I'm looking up here. The Merchant. So like the Royal Merchant that they talk about on OBX.
Never seen it.
Okay. Anyway, so like 1700s. So you're talking like, George Washington, Johnny Hancock, those fellers.
Yeah.
Big hats, ruffled necks.
Well, actually, you wouldn't even be George. I mean, George Washington was after 1776. If you put that in perspective.
True. So then, so you're circa George Washington.
Yeah, you're in that era.
So you're thinking, you're talking about like big braids, ruffled neck dress, like what the dudes were wearing.
More colonial.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
colonial.
I think the thing that
shit.
they would be impressed with most,
cars.
No, I think
airplanes.
I think our agricultural technology, because that was the basis from which they come, and they could see you take a planter and go plant 100 acres in the amount of time that they could not conceivably believe would be possible. Mm-hmm. So I think that would be on that. I think the technology piece, based on, they used to, threw people in water, and if you floated, you weren't a witch.
Right.
So I would think like this stuff, like phones and technology,
wouldn't give a shit.
They would. It would be. It'd be the devil's.
Yeah.
It'd be the devil's work.
Well, even if they got past that, like, what do you need that for?
What do you think a guy
would
would
walk over there?
What about if a dude, like, what if it was a strapping young man from the 1700s and he hooked up with like a modern day
sex robot?
No, like a modern day, like let's just say like mid-20s single hard body, and he got down on that thing and he realized it was slicker than a minner's whistle. You know what I mean?
Like you're gonna say there's a pecker there.
No, well that too, but like it just all slicked up.
No bush.
Yeah, no bush, like all slicked up.
The hygiene thing would probably freak them out.
Yeah,
they'd be like, "You bathe every day?" Like, yeah, you turn on hot water.
I was just say I would think plumbing and running water. I was thinking agriculture too, just something they would relate. But same thing, just like, oh, good grief, think of all the time that would save, not having to walk through the snow or the mud.
So that was another conversation with the Flamians, was about, like Randy was saying, that he can remember still when he was a kid, like having the piss pot the piss pot that was right outside the bedroom door or whatever, in the living room or wherever, where they would, in the middle of the night in the wintertime, it would be right there by the stove, where like if you had to go shit, like you didn't walk outside in the middle of the night in the cold and shit in the outhouse. You just shit in that bucket in the living room. That's wild to think about,
Well, I think about this. Back then, the doctoring and the medicine.
Oh yeah.
You got hit by the musket ball, you're probably done. Well, it was just a grazed wound. Yeah, but when gangrene sets in, like you're done.
Just but a flesh wound.
And now you're like, hey, here's a shot of penicillin, pal.
Yeah.
Go ahead and take that. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
But again, I think it goes back to, though, when you think, if you're taking them and they have no prior knowledge, like they were sitting down having Thanksgiving dinner with the fellas.
Not yet, they weren't. Oh, yeah, they were.
Yeah. So if you plucked them up from there and you brought them here, I think that's with that kind of knowledge, if they had no preconceived notion, majority of our life and stuff that we have would be of the devil, witchcraft, like those kind of things. That's why I think
We're
like
a bunch of wizards.
yeah, the agriculture would be a big thing because they would be impressed by that. Like, oh, you don't have a whole stable of slaves you use? No, we got a John Deere out back. Like, we've advanced from that. But that's, I think agriculture would probably be it for me.
Yeah, I don't know. Like all of it. Running water, radio,
Think about the firearms of some of those guys.
yeah, television, telecommunications. Like, I just think it would be, I couldn't imagine.
Well, think about this too. What do you think they would be most?
Ice. Yeah.
Lights.
Oh,
Lights.
okay. Ice. You know
What do you think they would be most disappointed in? There's one right answer. There's one right answer.
Oh, there's got to be more than one.
No, this is the prime right answer. I want you guys to guess. They would be disappointed in how we have allowed the government to run our lives.
Yeah. Well, maybe not early 1700s. They hadn't. Some of them may not have seen that they ever did anything to change it.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Who typed Bradnid?
What?
Oh, it's not branded up there.
Oh,
Yeah, your ADD's strong.
he can read.
Turns out. And we know he did do the show notes.
I did too,
Oh,
but I copied and pasted Bradnid.
That'd have
Yeah.
been me, probably.
I'm sorry. That was
that's
just a side note there.
but what would you think they would be disappointed in?
I don't know.
Probably the way we dress.
No. I wouldn't give a shit about
I
it.
think they would be disappointed in how the family nucleus is gone. Because family was big back then.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you had big families, but
Yeah. I was going to say people not having enough kids or something.
yeah. What are you doing?
Or chicks with peckers. I could see that being a
Tough spot.
pretty big disappointment.
So you guys don't sit around with a peace pipe with your neighbors anymore? No, we don't even talk to our neighbors. We don't even know who they are. What do you mean? Well, how do you survive the cold winters? Well, buddy, we flip on that thermometer.
I know who
switch,
my
that
neighbors
pop-
are.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah.
Dave knows who his neighbors are.
Well, the county came through, and now I got a speed bump into my driveway.
yeah, you do. My goodness. I about broke my jaw when I backed out of the driveway the other
Yeah, I
day.
can't wait till the water runs that one away, too. Dave, good topic.